Hey, Jessica Kaminsky here. And many of you know I'm an author of Math in Focus and Primary Mathematics, but I'm also a consultant and math coach. And one of the things I truly love about what I do is getting to problem solve and helping schools with their unique situations and their unique problems because that's so much fun to help them find solutions for their students' math education. One of those happens to be something that's on the rise in the US, and that is hybrid school models. So I devoted an entire blog post just talking about what those models are and the challenges they face, because they truly are unique in combining education in the classroom and education at home, and they need their own set of solutions because it's such a dynamic model. One of the questions that I often get asked is how to meet the needs of the math curriculum. So, hybrid schools can meet anywhere from 2 to 4 days a week, and teachers have to consider what's being sent home and what's being completed in class, which requires a lot of thoughtful planning and communication. In the blog post that I mentioned here, and you can find the link in the comments, you will see that I talk a lot about quality resources, parent education, and parent communication. But there's another piece that's really essential, and that's the planning that I want to talk about now because I want to show you exactly how to go through that process and even provide you a free resource. Now, when I plan how we are going to divide up the math curriculum, I have to think about first a great resource. How am I going to give my parents help at home so I'm not making more work for both of us? And that can be done by coming up with a great curriculum. Now, I like to use something that has a teacher's guide and a home instructor's guide, such as Primary Mathematics 2022, because we can work together on the same lessons with resources directed to that audience, which is going to make all of our lives just a little bit easier. So that's one. The other thing I need to do is thoughtfully consider, as the teacher, what is essential to send home and what is essential to doing in class. There are lessons that just naturally lend themselves to doing in class. So I try to think of my lessons in three different ways. The first type of lessons I consider are basic or just conceptual understanding type of lessons. Now, this can again be further divided into ones that are more discovery based, that's just kind of fun and getting to know and developing vocabulary, or ones that are essential to everything moving forward. Depending on the level of knowledge that my parents may have, I may want to decide which ones are done in a classroom setting versus at home. More of the discovery, fun, vocabulary based lessons are great to do with parents because it lets them explore the math as well. Whereas ones that are essential to us moving forward may be better with a teacher who has the math background or feels confident in addressing those issues. However, full disclosure, it totally depends on comfort level of both teacher and parent. The second type of lesson I consider are my essential lessons. These are things that are pivotal to the learning. Maybe they're grade level objective. Maybe it's going to impact the rest of our chapter, but they're things that I know that I need to pull out and I need to verify that students understand. Again, you have several ways to attack this type of lesson. If you find that you have multiple lessons that are broken up into baby steps, for example, in Primary Mathematics 2022, you will find that a day's lesson hits a very specific topic. So if I'm thinking about an every other day type of hybrid model, but I notice there's two lessons that cover the same skill, there's just a little bit of a difference. For example, maybe on the first day we're regrouping in the ones place, and the next day we're regrouping in the tens place. I could merge those two lessons in the in class day and save the practice part for an at home day. So I'm ensuring that in class, we're covering the meeting, we're covering the language, and the practice is happening at home with a parent who can still support the student in that. That way, we're working together. Now, again, that's in one day. It considers the lessons that are taking place and how those might be merged. And so, thoughtful consideration has to be done there. I also would provide parents with at home resources, such as that home instructor's guide, or even a video from my Math with Purpose video library that will help parents to say, okay, we've got this, I can help you, and I can ensure that we can be successful in this so that we can continue on the next day. The third type of lesson I consider are the challenging lessons. And those are lessons that maybe it's a new math concept that many parents may not be familiar with. I mean, heck, there are several that as a teacher I didn't know because I didn't learn that way. And so I know that if I send this home without proper education for parents, we're all going to hit frustration, right? I'm going to get the emails, the phone calls. Parents may not know what that strategy is. So that's not going to be one that I'm willingly going to send home unless I prepare parents very much in advance, which again, you totally can do if you feel comfortable doing that and you feel confident and you have that communication. Or you could choose to say, this is a lesson that we're going to do in class, and I want to make sure that I make that decision and we cover that content and we feel confident moving forward. So it's a lot of decision making. It's really great as a team to work together and have those conversations because, again, it varies much on the level of understanding of your parents, how much education they have, throughout the year. Are you meeting with them? Are you talking with them? Are you providing parent nights? Because if they have a great math background, they might be ready to go and you can just split it up and be good to go. But again, every model has its own unique challenges. I mentioned to you that I want to take some of that stress, some of that planning, and save you time because I know you don't have a lot of it. And I created a free resource for you where I went through Primary Mathematics 2022 and I made my own suggestions for kindergarten through sixth grade. So right now you can take a look at this Google Sheet and you're going to see how we can break up the lessons, which ones are suggested. I even include notes and I point out which ones might be best for at-home learning, which ones might be best for collaboration between at home and at school, and which ones are designed for at school. So let's take a look at this resource so you can see how to best utilize it. When you fill out the form in that blog post, you are going to find that you will be shared first an email to confirm your email, and then you'll head over to this Google Sheet. This is going to have links to the blog post and the video again if you want to reference them, but you will see each grade level listed down here at the bottom. And when you click on that, you're going to see all the information provided to you within that sheet. So green lessons are lessons that can be done at home with little support or in class, but again, they're introductory type lessons, lessons that can be merged and practiced on your own done at home, and lessons that are best done in a classroom environment. I have color coded them for you. Again, these are merely suggestions, and I've also made notes for you, things to be aware of, maybe things to consider, just basically taking that hard work out of there for you so that you have some assistance, because I totally understand that there's a lot of decisions to be made, and I want to help you along as best I can. Now, again, I love helping you problem solve and addressing the challenging needs that you have in your school. And math education with a Singapore approach is just one of my favorites. And I truly believe that working together and coming up with solutions to these challenging problems, we can provide a quality math education to every one of our learners. I hope you enjoy this resource. Be sure to check back as it's being added to with the B-Book lessons. And of course, I always welcome your suggestions.